veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hey, welcome back. Uh-oh. Somebody got a tab open, or is that me?
Talk again, Aubrey. You sound pretty good right now.
Okay, I just heard an echo, so I wasn't sure if I had another tab open.
Nah, you good now.
Guys, okay, great. Welcome back. We're ready for Ready to Love, Season 7, Miami. How is everybody today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Hey, Jay, you sounding good?
Yeah, we
Ryan?
good.
I'm doing well.
Oh, good. Good to see you. And Roro and everybody else that's in the place. Hey, sign in. Let me know where you're at. Are you in Florida, Texas, somewhere else in the world? Let us know. Let us know, guys. I think this was a interesting episode, episode 3 of Ready to Love. What did you guys, just briefly, did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Did you hate it? Hey, Raven.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I think the outcome was what I expected.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, Raven. Raven, I don't know why I thought you were somewhere northeast, but not Queens. Okay. All right. Queens, New York. Okay. Anybody else from New York? You know, of course, New York City. We know our own Alex, the magnetic repellent is from New York. And we got 2 Detroiters in the house, Ron and my brother Ron and I. And Jay, you're from the West Coast?
I live in the West Coast. I'm from New Orleans.
You're from where? I'm sorry?
New Orleans.
No, New Orleans. Okay. All right. Oh, I know you can burn. I know you can cook in that kitchen then. I know that. Uh-oh.
Yes, don't let this
Orleans
fool you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's like my favorite place to travel in the world. Like some of the best food.
Yeah, she's from New Orleans. Tell her to spell New Orleans. Spell it.
I'm not gonna ask.
Nawlean.
Put that in the chat, Jay. Can you drop that in the chat real quick? That's funny. That is so funny. Wow. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just get started, guys. Let the other ones come in when they're available. We know football is going on, and a certain person told me she wouldn't be able to be here until her game was over. I'm not ratting you out, Keena. I'm not saying her name. But we'll get started.
She may not show up. The Bills lost. So
you didn't have to give it away. I was waiting to hear it directly from her. Okay, yeah, she might be crying in her pillow right now. So anyway, we know that this week Nephew Tommy meets with the women in this, and this was different. Okay, I've seen this before. I've seen here in Detroit years ago. They had a club called the Vault, and it was actually a bank, an abandoned bank, right? So Tommy meets the women in the church lounge to give them the power to eliminate one man this week. And the goal is for the women to open up so that the men can actually see them. And so it starts off with Sue Ann and Mercedes meeting Blake. Right? And Blake, and I have to move to the next card, and Mark Anthony for the Kangoo exercise. Anybody familiar with this Kangoo situation?
I am.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Talk about it. I mean, you've done it before. Is it fun? Is it a good workout?
It kills your calf. So it's painful actually when you get done. Like the next day, your calves are like burning and super sore. So.
Oh, okay. So it is a good, like a lower body workout, huh?
I mean, some of those things you just got to get used to. It's kind of like if you rollerblade for the first time, it's going to kill your shins, your ankle the next day. It's going to be sore because the pressure is all on that. You haven't built that muscle yet. So
Okay. We got Allison who's here from Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house. Yeah, that must be
Yep.
somebody you know, Alex. Okay. All right,
Yeah,
and
there
then
you go.
she even got a little message for Rhino. She wants to know what's the scoop on your boy Blake.
I got you.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it in a minute, Allison. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hey, LMV. Hey there. Okay. But so yeah, it's a good workout. And then I guess what it's also like, Ron, it's also like aerobic too, kind of an aerobic heart, get your heart rate up.
Yeah, get your heart rate up, but it's focused on the lower legs, the calves and stuff like that. It's fun, like you able to bounce around and get a little. But I can see I wouldn't pick that as a date. I don't know, what I mean. The producers be trying to get too creative with these dates sometimes. I'm like, they were in pain doing this, and they, you could tell they're looking uncomfortable when they were on their face.
Right. Yeah. It was. Well, I don't know. After a while, your boy Blake looked like he actually started to enjoy it, or maybe that was his TV smile. I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't want to look how they really wanted to look. They were.
Right. So I mean, he did what he could do. He did what he could do, and I wasn't mad at him. I thought overall he did a good job. So as we continue on it was definitely a different date, and then I've got Mercedes and Mark Anthony chat. Blake is Blaking, and on that date, he's being Blake. You guys already know Blake is not my favorite guy on the show at all. Yep, throw your tomatoes, throw them now, because I think if he stays on much longer, we're gonna really see who Blake is. But that's just my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. That's not. Hey, I don't pick these dates. I just report on them. Okay, I just give you my opinion. But I thought this was interesting. Maybe you could explain this, Ron. Why he gave Sue Ann a code name of Susu in case of an emergency. What was that all about? Did you catch that?
Yeah, I didn't think it was like an emergency. I thought they were saying like, for some alone time, right? Or like, yeah, because we all be trying to duck away from the cameras for a second sometimes in order to get some true alone time. So I guess he was probably saying like, if I hit you the code, then we just duck off in the back over here and we get some time to talk or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Ron's so nice. He's so nice. That was BS.
Isn't he nice when it's one of his boys? He is very nice. Go ahead, Jay.
Stand by your friend, Rob. But that was some BS. That code name. Like, what are we doing? Because you're not even trying to get that close. Granted, you asked her to come closer, but you didn't move any closer. So stop playing. That's just so you can have your extra vote somewhere down the line.
Well, everybody, it's the third episode. Everybody playing the game right now, so you can't just single him out.
Yeah, but I'm not going to just single him out because there's a lot of game playing going on. Trust me, there's a lot of game playing, but I'm not just singling him out. But we are talking about him right now, so he's going to be single right now in this, and it's like you are some BS. Like, now I know we'll get into the other stuff later. Do I believe anybody in this situation? Not really, to a whole degree, but I don't think he's really into anybody still on this whole show, like at all.
Is he doing a Samson? Is he doing a Samson?
That's what he's giving. Yeah, that's what he's giving.
Yeah, is he doing a Samson? Because I mean, let's just call it what it is. Sometimes these guys and ladies may come on this show, and I mean, it makes sense that if you haven't met your match in like 44 years for Blake, I mean, what's gonna make it any different? Because he has a couple of cute women on this show, gorgeous women, but he hadn't met it. But now here's the thing: I gotta ask you this, Ron. Yeah. You did not tell us that your boy had been married and divorced before.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it was a long marriage, if I remember right. But...
okay. You heard it here, guys. Okay, how short was his marriage? A day, 2 days, a week?
No, I went like that. But...
Ron, is it one of his children's mothers?
You what?
Yeah.
Is it one of the children's mothers?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think he had the first kid.
Okay.
Okay. I think a little more information.
I think he has a good relationship with his baby mothers. You got to remember, you say like he's not interested in any of the girls, but the fact that he doesn't want any, it's only 10 girls. The fact he doesn't want any more kids might X 50% of the women out the equation already anyway. So now you're dealing with 5 women you can even talk to.
Okay.
So it might not be his fault. Like he's just so bang he ain't into the girls. It was kind of like that with Benicia from our season and stuff. The fact she didn't want any other kids really only left Joelle because all of us was like, we might want a kid. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, I get that, and I know his options are slim, but I just don't see him wanting any of his options as well. So, like, yeah.
I mean, if he was really running game, he would have said from the jump, yeah, I do want more kids. Depends on the right person. He would have ran that game. But since he said straight up, I don't want any more kids, whatever 87-13 is, he should have never said that. He should have just stuck with
the 87%
I don't want any more
that he threw out.
children.
That was
he said, right. He should have just stuck with I don't want any more children, been honest about that. Because I think we're being much more harder on him than we're being on Corvea, who clearly wants to be bought. You know,
no, we haven't got to her yet. You've been missing some weeks. You've been missing some weeks, Alex.
It's coming. Her part in the date is coming. Okay, so Blake has been there. He's telling us he's been there and done it, which kind of contributes to his snarky snugness. Like he's done everything before, he's seen everything, and he just kind of comes across as kind of jaded. And again, I keep asking myself, like a lot of other people I'm hearing, it ain't just me now, by the way. Why is he in this process? But okay, I'm just saying. Cynthia, moving on to Cynthia and Dre. They end up doing a sip and paint type of dance where they're discussing femininity. And I thought this date was actually very interesting because it brought up the question, does vulnerability scare males, or can a man handle it? And I'm directing this to the two men on the panel right now, and then Jay, you can chime in after. But Ron, if you want to start with us and keep it kind of brief so we get enough time for the other two guests to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, we love vulnerability in women. I absolutely love it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think in my season, I remember when I would rewatch because we don't see everything until after and stuff like that. And when I saw Stacy kind of do her little tear thing on her exit, I was like, man, we didn't see none of that side. Like you were like the Rockwaller on the show part. But if I would have saw that side, it would have been a whole different. I'd had a whole different feeling towards some certain things. So yeah, we love to see that in women with that vulnerability side of them.
Even to the point of, I got to ask you this, Ron, even to the point if they actually cry or.
We love that. The crying is even better and stuff because we're the macho. We want to see that other side of the woman. We don't want to see her toughen it out. Like we all both holding in our emotions together. Like it doesn't work that
way. nobody has an on Doug. Okay. Yeah, we'll jump over here to magnetic repellent, as he likes to call himself. What are your thoughts on it? The femininity and the crying.
Well, we always hear women talking about that they want to feel safe in a relationship. They want to feel protected. So I think, by Dre making her feel safe enough to be vulnerable, for her to be able to cry to him and do that whole thing. I think as men, we love that because we want to protect you guys. We want you guys to feel safe. We want you guys to feel vulnerable because you can never really truly love unless you're somewhat vulnerable. And those of us that's been hurt in the past, maybe a couple of times, it's hard for us to be vulnerable because we don't want to deal with that pain again. So when a person's being vulnerable enough in front of you to cry and let their emotions show, and you're able to make them feel safe, that's huge for women. If you make a woman feel safe, she'll follow you anywhere. You providing that leadership for her.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, help her with the pimping, Alex. I see you.
He got that down to a T.
There y'all go again.
You say Alex Pimpin is undefeated or something like that. Alex say Pimpin is undefeated.
Oh my God,
man.
you're crazy.
Okay, all right. I feel you.
Jay's
I mean,
a mess. Never mind, Jay.
It's funny. I got to give a shout out to and Ron, I think you're in one of these groups. Over on Facebook, there's a Ready to Love TV show group, and it gets pretty heated. And oftentimes there are cast members that come in and defend their position or explain their position. And there was just one gentleman in there. He just really kind of rambled on. And I guess he thought that it was not cool. He said that Cynthia basically had a mental breakdown, like, type of thing. And I was like, no. And the other ladies kind of came to her defense. That wasn't a mental breakdown. She got emotional. And what I'm thinking is, because Alex and I had talked about this off screen, I'm thinking that there's portions to that, of course, that date, a lot of it that was cut out. And so when we see her crying, yeah, I think that, she's come to that point where she has gotten emotional, probably thinking about it. And the thing that she mentioned, and she's mentioned that this is her second time talking about this. And Jay, you chime in too in a second. I'm just going to say this. She talked about the part about, as Black women, we have to be tough. We're out here. Sometimes we're single mothers or we're career women, and we're busting our behinds at work, and we're getting microaggressions thrown at us from all different sides. And so we develop a thicker skin to deal with it. So now you want to put us and throw us into a situation where we're dating, and men say they want women to be feminine and vulnerable, but that's a lot of transitioning. Does that make sense?
I'll say it like this. If you weren't groomed to be that in the first, it's still going to be hard for you to be feminine in that when it's time for you to be it, because you don't know what it is. Now, if you know what it is, but conditions in life have made you a little tougher on the outside, you might have trouble letting your guards down from time to time because, trust, things that you have experienced and all those taught you that you have to hold off before letting that side go. In her case, I don't feel like she had a breakdown. I just really feel like she was just tired of being strong and was glad to have this release to be able to just say, I don't want to be this all the time. I don't want to be in this position because this is not me naturally. A person that has been groomed to be that naturally won't see them not being vulnerable. They'll just be, I'm surviving. I'm doing what I got to do. But when you have been groomed to be vulnerable and you groomed to be submissive and all of these things, you actually are fighting against yourself on a daily basis because you have to be strong, and that's not where you want to be all the time.
Hey there, Keena.
Can I?
I don't know.
Can I tell a quick? Hey, Keena.
Hey.
Can you tell?
Hey, Keena.
What's up?
Yeah, I wanted to respond to. Yeah, I want to respond. I want to respond to what Jay was saying as far as that crying and everything. And for me, some years ago, I have a friend, woman. This woman, she's a single parent, very strong woman, very beautiful at the same time. We went out, on a date many years ago, and we're sitting, on the couch and we're talking, and she starts going into, her life and all the stuff she's been through and the letdowns and the hurt and the pain. And she just started bawling. And when I tell you, just crying uncontrollably, like it just, I never expected that from her, because to me, it just seemed like she was always this strong, powerful business owner and parent. And, she's from Brooklyn like me and all this stuff. And I didn't expect that. And then all I could do was just hold her. And she was bawling so much to when she was done, she just fell asleep. And I just sat there holding her and let her sleep. It's like she waited years to get this out. And maybe that's somebody that she trusted enough to cry like that in front of, because she knew I wasn't going to judge her, And I think that sometimes women feel like that they're thrown in positions to be strong because they've been let down so many times. They've been left with children. They've been left with a home. They've been left with bills. So it's a double-edged sword. Either she be strong and survive, or she be weak and get crushed by this life. So you can't have it both ways. So when that happened to me, and I saw that with my own eyes and experienced that made me realize that women do want to be vulnerable. They want men to lead. They want to feel safe with men. But if they're pushed to be strong and they have no choice, they have to survive. That's what happens.
And you got to also factor in, Alex, too. Sorry. Hey, Keena, I don't mean to be rude, but some of these things is not just when we reach womanhood. Some of these things happen to us way earlier before then. We have a lot of unspoken cases that happen in the home that we don't talk about because we always told to keep it in house and all this stuff. And so that brings us down the line of you got to be tough. You just got to deal with it. Toughen up. and we don't have nobody to talk to. So sometimes when we cry like that, when we just burst out,
Absolutely.
we've been holding it for too long, and it's just built up so long that it just comes out, and it seems like it's a mental breakdown, but really it's not. It's just I need to let it go, and God said that you are the person I'm gonna let it go with.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think men in that situation has to be the reassurance for the woman's emotion. I was in that situation before, and I let the woman know. I say, you know what? It is a cold world out here, and I could be your blanket. I'm not the most warmest blanket in the world, and I'm not made of fur. I'm not the most luxurious blanket in the world, but I promise you, my blanket is enough to cover you.
Oh, Ryan. Somebody turn the fan on over here, but go ahead. I'm listening.
So yeah, it would cover you, you know. So I can do what I can do, but I make sure you're gonna be okay, because I was raised to be able to cover you and make sure that you're okay, to give you that reassurance as a man. So I think that's our position in those situations when a woman gets vulnerable. Let her know, I got you. You don't have to worry about that part. I mean, I can't promise you the world. I can do the best of what I can, but let it go. I can handle it. Don't worry about it. And just give her that reassurance as a man.
Wow. You know, that what you just said, that is so powerful. That is Keena, welcome in. Hey, you got any comments in this particular event where we're talking about how Cynthia got emotional on her date with DeMario as they were at the paint and sip, I believe it was, and how he was able to handle it? Did you have any thoughts on that before we moved on?
I felt like that scene, there had to be more conversations that were had that we didn't see, because what was said didn't add up to the tears. So I was like, well, what the hell is she crying about? Because
a New Yorker, by the way, a New Yorker. That's Keena, a New Yorker. Go on.
I'm having a New York emotional day today, so y'all gonna bear with me.
See, now you can relate to her after this game, right?
Off in the bill. So I'm a little on edge tonight, but what I'm going to say is production definitely cut out some stuff, and I would like to know what was said, because what she said to me didn't equate to the tears, and I was very confused in the scene. So I would just like to know what the heck was said, because I didn't. For me, it was like, girl, what are you crying for?
But you know what I think I think it was you, Jay, that said earlier. I really believe that it was, or maybe Alex, or maybe both of them. It was kind of, I think it was a combination of Tommy asking them to be vulnerable, her actually feeling comfortable enough with Andre to be vulnerable, and that as Black women, I mean, I don't think I have to tell you two ladies that as Black women, we deal with a lot. Like that's a whole nother podcast right there. Okay. And then for a man to be comfortable in his masculinity, to accept you being emotional without him falling apart or running away and saying, well, I'm never going to date that crazy lady again. I think that it allowed her the space. And for sure, there was a lot that was cut out.
But what did Marco say that was so comforting? I mean,
Andre.
You know, like, I mean, I didn't really get the comfort in what he said. I mean, he was just kind of more like, okay, yeah, I understand that. Like, to me, he didn't, because it was cut out. So
it was like cut out, yeah.
Choppy.
There was for sure.
DeMarco, I didn't see any like significance in what DeMarco said that was so it's a round of applause.
I think the fact that he stayed in the moment with her. Sometimes, like, have you ever, let me just say this, so to phrase it differently, have you ever been in a situation where somebody maybe just found out they're terminally ill, they only have 6 months, a year to live or whatever, and you've had to be there for them in that moment? You oftentimes don't know what to say, but just your presence and accepting the fact that they're emotional, that's the comfort right there. Him even kind of maybe like halfway joking but serious, saying after she ran out of Kleenex, well, you can use my sleeve to wipe your snot on. I mean, in so many words, just somebody being there sometimes is the comfort. It doesn't really take for you to be like a Martin Luther King speech or anything like that. It just requires you to be in the moment with that person.
Yeah, I like them. I really love Cynthia, but I think both of them can play the game. That's just my observation. Like they do is just
you're my audio on this side is going out. Can you say that again? You liked Mario, but what? I didn't hear the part that
I
came
liked
after that.
Mario and I love Cynthia, but I honestly think like they did a lot of research and they know how to do this ready to love game. I really.
Oh, so you think they're kind of jaded and they know the process.
They know the process. I mean, Cynthia came in and she ain't missed a beat. Like, and I like her and I ain't mad at it. Bravo.
Yeah, I'm with Kia. Like, I never trust Ready to Love criers. I guess don't, because I remember in our season, Joel had a moment where he shed tears. And if you know Joel, that's him. He's just a New Orleans guy, really emotional, naturally person. And he came out and it was applauded and everybody was like, oh yes, showing emotion. And then like after that, every day somebody was crying, trying to get that attention. Oh my God, damn, everybody crying. Shooting up tears.
Ron, my Cash App is $actually Aubrey. That's my Cash App now. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So I see that our chat members have various viewpoints on the whole crying situation, but we're gonna just move along because there's more to it. So Corvea and Fabrice go bike riding. Now this is where it really starts to get interesting. Fabrice is clearly attracted to her, but the date goes left when he thinks he knows her so well. But does he? Guys, did you get that he really like knew her, or what do you think? Do you think he was calling it right that she was who he thought she was?
I mean, I think she's who he thought she is, but I also think that maybe the guys have been already like they've already huddled up and had a conversation like, okay, she's this way. So I think he came into that date like, I know who you is. I know what you about. Bam. Because he was a little bit too strong in the moment. And it was like, he already had probably been, I kind of feel like they just kind of been talking about her a little bit for him to be that strong in the moment. That's how I feel about it. I mean, but whatever his name is, he's a hot ass mess. So it don't even matter.
Okay. Jay, what are your thoughts?
I mean, he called what he's seen or whatever, and of course what he heard from the other guys, because there's no doubt that they didn't go around in the men's lounge and say what they thought of her. And she does lead with money, but his approach was trash. You ask her about herself and then cut her off in the middle and tell her you know her already. So it's like, bro, why did you ask me a question in the first place? I'd be so annoyed. Like, we're done. Take my mic off and take this camera out my face, like, because I don't need to talk to him anymore. Like, seriously, that was just the stupidest and rudest thing I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that he picked up his phone and just went on like in the middle of the conversation, I was like, bro, are you serious right now? Like,
if a guy not feeling you, let me pick up my phone because I'm not really feeling you. Maybe he wasn't feeling her, but
I get he was feeling her, but it was just
yeah, but I mean, and you are on a show, so like, I mean, you could have had a little sensitivity, but that may catch up with him later. Though, what did you think, Alex? What did you think about that? The date. I think Alex is having a delay issue.
Nah, he looked frozen.
Hey,
Frozen.
Hey,
he's frozen.
For me, I just figure I look frozen.
You was, but you're good now. You're good now. Yeah, you're moving now.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yes, we hear you. Oh. You're on. You have a delay, but go ahead and speak. You've got the floor.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it would just seem like they were a match made in heaven. He's all about sex, she's all about money. So they should have hit it off. To me, that's what I'm thinking.
I think if he might have went to that situation a little bit more, like letting her speak, they probably would have vibed a little better because, I mean, he seems like financially set, would have might have tuned her ears in, but he was just cutting her off. It was like, damn, dude, like, can I talk? Like, the freak, like your own self.
I second that.
Yeah, I was begging Fabrice to just play Sugar Daddy.
Not 44.
I was like, just play Sugar Daddy.
He is 40-year-old.
He is not. Raise your hand if you think he's 44. Raise your hand, Alex, Ron.
No. I mean, you could go for 44.
He cannot.
But raise your hand and in the chat.
No.
In the chat, drop a Y. Wait a minute, hold up. Drop a Y in the chat. If you're in the chat, drop a Y if you think this man is actually only 44. Raise your hand if you're on the panel and you think he's 44.
That man is 52.
I've seen 44-year-old white dudes look worse than him.
But he's not Caucasian, though.
He's a Caucasian 44.
And well, yeah.
With him also, I don't think he's used to dating black women.
Oh, not at all.
I don't think
that's what he told us.
So
he's not used to dating American women either. How about that?
On this show, like you don't date black. He doesn't date black women.
What makes you say that, Keena? Can you give us some reference?
I know men. That man does not date black women.
With that said, though,
like, he's more like, I mean, he's on the Miami scene. You know, he's not like I can just tell. So I don't understand why he was even on this show. A, that man is 52 years old. B, he don't date black women. C, his pants is over his belly button, and he got high waters on. And he got
Keena, okay. I should never ask you to give reasons because you got a laundry list. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Alex, why do you think he's not 44?
He's froze again.
He just looks like an older, more mature man. Period. He walks like that. He looks like that. That's the way his swagger is, you know. And he uninhibited with what he says. He's like, he don't care what anybody says. He's very comfortable with himself. So he's at a point in his age where he just don't care what anybody thinks. Listen, I'm here. I want to have sex. What y'all think about that? You know what I mean? That's how he feels.
Oh, Lord. No filter at all. Exactly.
Hey, for being an older man, you gotta have some finesse. Like he had no finesse. Like if he was older and was just finessing the game, like he might have, did a little better.
Yeah, you're right. On to the next date. Next we have Morgan, Marcia enjoying a picnic with Lyndon and Tony. Tony sits with Marcia while Morgan and Lyndon sit next to each other, but later they kind of switch partners, so I guess they can both experience, each man individually. Morgan shares that she's never been in love before. What did you guys think about that? What did you think about that? Red flag? Okay, Ron says red flag. Alex, as a guy, do you feel like a woman that's maybe late 30s says she's never been in love? Would that be a red flag to you, or would you care?
I think that I'm going to say I think she might have been
exaggerating. You asking me, Aubrey?
Who you asking?
Yes, I was. You have a delay on your end. We'll talk about that after the show. But go ahead, Alex, and then Keena, you next.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think it's a bit of a red flag. I don't know if I believe that. She's been going through her whole life. I'm pretty sure she's been in some intimate settings, some intimate relationships. So I'm not sure what she, defines as love. She's been with guys that she's felt, had feelings for. What is her definition of love? I don't know. I'm kind of confused.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Alex. Alan V in the chat says 44 is his immigration age and 55 is his. I can't. I'm rolling over here. What were you about to say, Ryan?
About the Morgan?
Yeah, about her never being in love. You said, you already.
Yeah, I think it's a red flag. It kind of shows like emotional immaturity. I think for men, that's how we think of it is that she's not emotionally ready to open up to a man if you haven't had a relationship there, because she is gorgeous. She's one of the top looking women on there, and it did kind of throw me off. And I was trying to figure it out. Like, is she showing off masculine energy? Is it what is it that's throwing it off? Because she's drop dead gorgeous. So it didn't make it much sense for me.
Yeah, Keena, I'm sorry. What you were going to say about what you thought about it too? What did you think about her saying that at 37, 38, she's never been in love?
She 37?
Mm-hmm. I know she's beautiful.
But what I'm gonna say is, I think maybe, females say it all the time. Like, she might have thought she was in love and then it wasn't love. So I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt and say that, like, I thought because you'd be like, I thought that was the love of my life, and then he was no good, so I never really was in love. So maybe that's what happened, and maybe she's rephrasing it as that. But I think she might have been in love before and then realized it wasn't love, because at her big age, I'm sure she might experience some type of feelings of love.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But then my thing is with that, though, she's very articulate. She's not slow. So why say you've never been in love if maybe you felt you were in love at some point and then you changed your mind? You could
when
do
you
that.
Hurt stuff. When you are hurt as a woman, you say a lot of hurtful. You say things.
Okay.
So maybe you've been really hurt.
Yeah.
To me, a woman that hasn't been in love is a woman that hasn't invested a lot in a relationship with a man.
Ron, yes, say that.
Yeah,
again,
they haven't invested. So that's scary to a man, because I'm like, man, you haven't invested, like, you're holding back that much for that long. Like, I'm gonna need all of you to pour out here. I can't, I don't want you holding anything back. So that's why I say it's a red flag. I didn't mean it more as a negative thing. I just meant as a real thing, that they kind of look at that as who have you poured into? Because if you pour into somebody, you're going to feel that you love that person, because women can't, it's hard for a woman to invest without, just to do it, not to feel that love coming back or want that to come back to them.
Right. Because even if he broke your heart afterwards, I think most women are comfortable. Most women, especially if you're confident, you're comfortable saying, well, yeah, I was in love, or I thought I was in love. I love someone and they broke my heart. That's not what she said. She said, she's literally said, she's never been in love before, which, I was like,
or maybe she might have been chasing her career. Some women are career focused, where they're in school, their investment is their career. They don't have any life outside their career. Maybe it's that.
Still a red flag because of love.
Why is that a red flag if you are investing in your career and nothing else?
Yeah.
To the next level.
How you gonna turn that to a marriage?
Yeah, but I mean, let's say someone's in medical school. They do not have time to be in love in medical school,
and they suffer for that relationship.
But would that be a red flag if someone has been in medical school and finally get out of school and now they're able to finally experience life? Is that a red flag?
Yeah, and if they got that MD paper, I can guarantee you on the dating market, they're at the top of the pool. I don't care how
not
they
for
look.
men. I mean, I'm talking from a man's point.
Oh, okay.
Standpoint. Yeah, he don't care.
I know doctors. I have a cousin that's a doctor. She's just now able to really experience life, because she's had to move to this state, move to that state. Not able to invest in relationships. And if she doesn't have time. So if she dates, it's like an online dating situation that doesn't go anywhere. So she's just like, I'm just gonna wait till I get all my degrees and get out of medical school. And now she's finally starting to experience life and date.
But also for me is like, clearly she's not a virgin. So it's like, who are you laying with that you have no feelings for?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
How do you know what's going on down there? Please don't talk under the women's skirt on this show. Please don't.
Listen,
please.
Let's say
that she has had relations. Why don't you just say that? I really would prefer that. I mean,
listen,
come on. We don't know.
I
don't know. I don't want to know.
I do. But
oh, you like her, right? Would you be willing to go down to Miami if she was available after the show? Right?
I wouldn't, but I think she's a beautiful looking woman.
She is simply gorgeous. I'll say that. I think she's fabulous looking. And when I saw 37, and hey guys, too, I don't know if this is RTL doing this, because they have mixed up. Even your boy Phil a couple of seasons ago, they said he was 50 something, and he was only 37, I think, at the time. So
what was that?
Phil.
They never said he was 50.
Yeah, they did. They did. Go to his Instagram page. I guarantee
they still have him as 50 something or whatever, 40 something, 50 something. They have him higher than his age. Yes,
thank you, Jay. I don't make this stuff up. I'm the roving reporter too. When you see now, you're busy with your audacity show. Oh, by the way, guys, get her link. She got her. Tell them, Keena, what's the name of the podcast?
Oh, the audacity. I'm bringing all the tea, guys. Come
all the tea she bringing, but she don't know. She forgot to go over and look at Phil where he shows that it says
Phil personally. I never heard that, but I'm going to tell you this. Ready to Love does not do like official background checks. I mean, I could say I was, whatever age I wanted to say, they just going to go with it. I mean, who's verifying?
Okay. Ooh, got the tea here. Go ahead.
Who's verifying and who's checking? They're not checking my age. Like, okay, that checked out. You are who you say you are. I mean,
well, listen.
Go ahead.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, okay? I personally know Phil. Phil's a long time family friend, and Phil has not yet even reached 40. I know that for a fact.
I know, I know, and I told you that. I told you something else before you even realized that was Phil, your friend from way back when. What did I tell you about Phil? What did I say from the beginning? What did I say? Don't me. Don't you want me?
What?
Well, maybe
I said that Phil's a good guy, and whoever gets Phil is got a good man. They got a good man.
I don't know if they did.
You did.
Like who were the older guys on that show? There really wasn't a lot of older men on that season. But he don't even look 50 anything. So it's just weird.
No.
Right. Like you said, I don't know. It's just it's a typo. It was a typo, but it stayed up, and he actually put it over on his Instagram, and it was funny because when he was celebrating his birthday, he had everybody cackling about it. But let's see. And I just his last comment, and if anybody, we've already touched on it. I just said, to me, it seems like getting vulnerable, just really being emotionally vulnerable, is more intimate to most people now than getting naked. What do you guys? Any thoughts on that before we move on? That being emotionally vulnerable is more intimate and more intimate for most of us now in this new modern age where people are so quick to kiss, have sex, not even know each other's name, and but people can get naked, but they can't be emotionally vulnerable. Does that strike a chord with anybody?
I think it's interesting. Either way, you're naked. You're mentally naked, you're emotionally naked, or you're physically naked. But I think either way, you're very, very vulnerable. If you let somebody in on your secrets, on your innermost secrets, that's basically being stripped naked there of your emotions, your secrets, of your background, your life. So it's definitely more than one way to be totally vulnerable and totally naked.
Absolutely, but I guess and just my thought on it, like I said. But
as a person that used to model, it's way easier to be naked physically than it is to be naked emotionally.
It is. Exactly. You have a point there. I know, like on social media, like I've seen like people happen to let it out, and they'll be vulnerable and express themselves on there. And then you'll see comments, or you'll see somebody say, "Man, take that off. Don't be sharing all your stuff or letting that stuff out there." I was like, okay, but they're not allowed to do that. But somebody can have an OnlyFans and show your body all day long.
Right.
So it's like, I tell you want to be vulnerable on social media, let it out.
Right. Yeah. Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? But I guess that depends on how you want to navigate your relationships. Do you want to be emotionally naked first, or do you want to just be physically naked and still be covered up all the emotion on the inside? Because I don't know. But anyway, Lyndon was ready to kiss. So on the date with Marcy, Lyndon was ready to kiss, but Marcy wasn't. Tony is still hitting on the church talk. Is that a red flag or not? Because he's on the date and he's still talking that church talk with all the ladies, with Morgan specifically. Is anybody getting a red flag, or is it just me?
For me, yes. It's just like Corvea with her money talk and Febreze with his sex talk and Andre with his submissive talk. Do y'all have any other things to talk about? Like at this point, seriously, it's annoying. You don't tell me nothing more about you than that you've been to church when you were 6. Okay.
Yeah, it gets redundant to me over time, and I've seen this Jesus hustle, pimps in the pulpit. This whole I've seen it too many times. It's crazy.
You said you used to be a pimp in the pulpit. What?
Yeah, Jesus hustle.
he damn sure. It's like enough. Okay, let's pray for the chicken and eat. Hello.
Alex called Tony Pastor J. Maul Bryant.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. I'm feeling like, you know what, ladies, be very aware of these guys that's playing on your emotions, talking about the church, because you don't have to talk about the church. You don't have to talk about Jesus or God all the time. Let me see your walk. Let me see what the walk looks like.
You know, baby, God is everything, baby. Like, I love you, boo. Like, it's like, what?
He talk like that. Yeah.
I love you, boo. I love you, boo.
Being a little, whoa.
He's competing. He's a competitor. You can tell he's very. He likes to compete, and he's trying to win this thing. So he's pouring it all in. Like
what I do, I'm gonna pray for this food, baby. Let's pray for this, baby.
I know he know women talk. He's been listening to the women on the internet talk about what they want to hear and all this, because he started off talking about therapy. Now he's in the church every 5 seconds and this. He gonna have another talking point that attracts women, and he know what he's doing.
You know what he's doing. He's competing.
Hey, church boys be the quickest one to get the panties. I mean, them panties drop like
absolutely
gone. You know,
I heard a YouTuber say that too, and she's a preacher's kid, and I was like, "What? Say what, girl?"
It works. It works. I mean, a lot of females they want a praying man. They say praying man, and goddamn it, they done. They like, oh my God, I got a fearful praying man.
But Keena, my Cash App is down here on the scroll. So write it down for afterwards, okay?
I got it memorized.
I still haven't received anything yet. but we progress. We progress. Let's see. Oh my goodness, you guys are so funny. Okay, so Lyndon was ready to kiss. Jeffrey meets with Demario. Is that right? Guys, is that right? Do I have the right name there? Because you know how I mix up names. Jeffrey and Demario go for a horse ride.
Yes, that's the right person.
Oh,
that
okay.
Horse ride did it for me.
Yeah, go ahead. Talk about it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me own network do better. I did not like how they were sexualizing that whole scene. Like she's riding the horse, her ass, they got it slow motion. Her ass is just jumping.
It looked good, didn't it?
I mean,
her behind. Okay.
I mean, yeah, she is she got a nice body, but why are they zooming in on that and sexualizing this young beautiful lady? That was just very
TV.
wild. Okay,
TV,
but it's wild.
You know what I mean?
It was wild. I did not like that for her. I did not even like the date. Like, it was a very weird date. Like, y'all in Miami riding horses. Like, come on.
She was trying to say she's a country girl. Wasn't she trying to? That was the point.
She said that, and then she was the one that picked the date out. Now, to be fair to Own and to Will Packard, she was
date. I didn't like the date, and I didn't like how they tried to sexualize her and make it like, show that in that slow motion thing. I didn't like that, because I'm sure she's more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's all you think about is her pine on the horse. That's it. That's all.
Ron, your thoughts?
I mean, I definitely noticed that.
I'm sure you did, Ron. As I was watching it, I said, I bet you Ron is checking this out also.
I noticed it. But I think he's definitely a laid back kind of guy. I wish he would have wore a cowboy hat with that shirt.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah, because the shirt was a little tight. Like, if you're gonna do the Western thing, you got to go all out with it. You can't just half step it. And it looked a little half steppish on the with the outfit.
I'm wondering, and Ron, maybe you can speak to this. Do you guys know what type of date you're going on before you actually go on it? Because maybe he didn't know that they were going.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. But he had the boot. I thought he had boots on, so I thought he knew about it.
They swapped them out. I don't know if you guys, because I watched this twice. They swapped them out. He came in some shoes, and I think that they might have had a pair or something, because he swapped out. He had shoes on at the beginning.
Okay, I got it.
Because he even looked and said, "We're doing horseback riding," and then they swapped and gave him boots. So.
Yeah, he probably didn't know. Yeah, they usually give you a heads up and say, wear something more Western theme or something. You know what I mean? They might, give you a little heads up. But I think he should have just been in the whole get up to kind of like, show his countryside if he had one. I don't personally like his swag and his conversation, but I think she likes his laid back personality. I think maybe they might match just on a weird level. I don't know.
I think it was kind of subliminal to me. You know, I think she used the horses as a subliminal way to let all the men know that's how I ride.
You know what, Alex? You lucky I'm busy sending Jeremy the link so he can come up. Jeremy, I just sent you the link. You're out there in the chat. Thank you for being in our chat. You're welcome to come up. I just checked your email. You got the link. Come on up. I know you had some other things that you had to take care of today, so pop on up. We're ready for you.
In DC, they did the horse, didn't they? With the Corey's Day.
Riding that horse, baby. She rode that horse.
Sure
well, you
did.
know, to be fair, oh hush, Alex. To be fair, I have to say this too. Now, she was aware that she had put horse riding on the list because maybe they gave a short list of 2 or 3 things. I don't know. But having known that she was going to be on a horse, I think she was ill prepared in the proper pants. Should you say like that would have been the thing for her to wear the proper pants?
She knew what she was doing. She wanted that thing to shake, baby.
Well, then, hey, then I can't stand up for it. And if that's what she wanted, that's what she got. Jeremy, welcome in, sir.
Hey, how y'all doing?
That she thought that they were going to emphasize on that moment, but I mean, if you go on horseback riding, she knew what she was doing.
Okay, Jeremy, we've all had our say. What was your say about this particular part of the day of the episode?
I called it on the first episode. I said that Jeffrey was going to be the villain of this season. To me, Jeffrey like comes across like, I don't know how you're not seeing it yet. Like, to me, okay, Jeffrey comes across over critical of everybody else except for herself. like she's hypercritical, and not only that, but it also appears like nothing makes her happy. Like nothing, like nobody on this show yet has, been up, to her liking. And I'm saying, if that's the case, why are you here? And then you're gonna drop like this bombshell inside of the women's panel, talking about like Blake need to stop, blowing me up. Like, I just feel so suffocated. Like, if that's the case, then why are you even bringing it up? Tell him how you feel, but are you just trying to damage his reputation in front of everybody else? Like, and isn't it like, aren't you the same one that said that you wanted a man who approaches you with intention, a masculine man, all of that type of stuff on the first episode? And now that this guy is coming at you in the way that you actually said that you wanted it to happen, you are now saying that he's like almost strangling you. But then again, who else are you going to be interested in? Because you already said DeMario is not really that much of a fit. You said, but he's husband material, although you said that he's not that, great of a guy. Then Lyndon is broke. We all know you're not about to get with a bartender. Francois is probably going home.
She was really critical of him.
Like, who else?
A lot of the ladies, let's be fair, Ryan, a lot of the ladies were critical of Fabrice.
She was super rolling her eyes.
But I was like, but I'm just saying, like, and then like I don't know how much I believe of this story that he told her that.
Well, now we haven't gotten there yet. It's okay if we kind of we haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, we can, yeah. But like, boo Jeffrey, yeah.
You say boo Jeffrey. I just don't like her, and I just don't like Blake. So I don't know. I guess we're at an impasse.
Team Blake.
Team Blake.
All I know is she cannot be trusted at this point.
Team Corvea and Team Jeffrey. Okay.
You on that team by yourself, child.
Well, okay. Which one of the ladies do you like this season?
I like Mercedes. I like
Mercedes. Okay, I like her too.
Cynthia. I like Marcia.
Oh yeah, I love Marcia.
Mm-hmm.
Marcia reminds me of Keena.
Oh my! You just trying to. Oh, look at you trying to.
It's like she's like cool.
Yeah, her energy.
Yeah. Okay, so Jonique meets up with Lyndon at a winery, and she admits that one of her, which I don't know if this is making her vulnerable or not. You guys tell me, because I don't know. But she admits that one of the things that she does is compare a man that she's dating to other men in her life. What do you guys think? Is it fair to compare men and dates? Is that right?
We do this. We all do it or whatever. We just don't tell people that we do it.
Okay, so I guess she was admitting something that's kind of puts her a little bit in a vulnerable space, but
I don't know
I
how
don't know.
vulnerable it is, but
Yeah, I didn't see the vulnerability in that. I really didn't. What about you, Jay? What were you saying?
I mean, I can't say that it's really vulnerable of her or whatever. It's just a dark trait that we kind of all have. I mean, men do it, women do it. We all kind of compare people to other people, on a regular basis. You got that high that you be chasing sometimes, and if you never had that high, you get close to it and you're trying to get it again. So it's something that we do, but it's to be vulnerable. I don't think that was really being vulnerable of her, but okay.
Right. It didn't seem like it was being so very vulnerable. Do you agree, Jeremy, that people all do this? We all compare our dates. Would you say you agree?
I can definitely say I do compare. Like, I do compare people that I've dated to somebody that's probably been one of the best that I've had.
What you back there popping some popcorn?
No, that's my dog.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it's kind of normal. Ron, would you say that you do that? You compare dates, one date to another date?
No, I don't do that. I'll compare the sex, but
Oh,
as a person,
okay, moving on.
as a person, you're an individual. You're gonna treat everyone different.
But you do sit up and keep a tally on the okay. You know what?
Well,
I can't with you two.
and
I can't with
she
you
was
two.
being PG, Ron, so we don't know exactly what she be comparing to her exes to.
That's a good point.
I mean, I think everybody compares at a point like, that was a little bit better than that. I think everybody kind of does it, but it's just not shared. I'm not gonna go on a date and be like, well, I mean, my last one though, like,
right,
kind of personal because it can make someone else a little uncomfortable. So,
How funny would that be if you did that? So, like, oh, you cool, but you not like.
Last night my date was even extra cool. He brought me flowers, okay, and candy.
But you know what that does tell you, though, in some roundabout ways. Though I don't know how long in between she comparing, but a lot of times when we do compare, that means that we're dating multiple people at that time of comparison, unless it's an overall situation, like we're in a relationship and you're just like, oh, my ex used to, and that's draining. But if usually you compare a lot more when you got multiples.
You guys are killing me with these private chat conversations. You are killing me. I'm sorry. But yeah, okay, I can see that. So we'll move on. The next, the ladies meet up in the lounge with nephew, uncle, cousin Tommy to discuss their dates and their process. Janique likes Lyndon. Cynthia admits to having been emotional with Dre or Andre. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Okay, Andre, Dre. Okay. And Cynthia thinks that Dre is kind. Who are the men that the women are not connecting with? Well, Lyndon was trying to kiss too many girls. Fabrice is too sexual, and Blake is robotic, does not want children, and he's controlling. So now, Jeremy, speak on your girl Jeffrey and what she said in this women's lounge.
Okay, let me go last.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Who wants to go first? Okay, who wants to go first? Go ahead, Alex. Alex?
Yeah, I'll go. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why she felt it necessary to put Blake on blast like that. I mean, obviously they're having off-camera conversations on the phone like all the cast members do, and maybe he said some things to her that maybe she's blown out of proportion, or maybe he did say some of those things. But why is she putting him on blast is the main question. Is she trying to turn the other women against him for some reason? What's her agenda? That's what I'm a little confused about. What's the agenda here?
Really? Okay. All right. Any of the ladies want to stick up for Jeffrey, or for just what she said? That if that really truly happened to her, why shouldn't she say that and inform the other ladies in the ladies' lounge? That's what it's for, right? To talk privately, and for the other women not to go back, which we see later on. It does happen.
If I have a connection with you and it's not the best connection that I would like to have with you, it's no reason for me to ruin your connection with somebody else unless I got a vendetta against you. Like really, that's how I look at it. It's like if you're being this way about me and you haven't put your hands on me or called me out of my name, anything of that sort, I feel like I don't need to share that with anybody else. We just don't connect.
Well, wait a minute, but if he said to her that he's not feeling none of these other women, he only wants her, you don't think that she should, like, as if you and your girlfriends, if this happened to you,
but if I
and
say
a guy
that,
was telling you that, but also seeing your other girlfriends, you don't think you should tell him?
If I say that, he's saying that he don't want to see nobody but me and all this, but then I turn around in the same breath and say, I feel like I'm in a relationship. That should be a conversation for me and him. So he can go find his one, because if I'm not feeling him, there's no reason for me to ruin his chance with anybody else. He's not for me. Okay. But if I want him, I can see why I would do that. That's how I just kind of look at it. Like, to me, it sounds like you're being vindictive because he gave somebody else a nickname, but he told you he lied to you or he lied to her, whoever the case. You're feeling some type of way about the lie. Instead of addressing him about it, you want to sit here and ruin all chances out in front of everybody else. And to me, I just me personally, you do what you want, but I don't roll like that. I'd rather just address that man instead of sitting here doing, and then sis, if you want to have at it. I'll tell you after I address him, but if that's on you. After that, I don't care.
Okay. Anyone else?
I mean, you got code, but a lot of these women on here don't. For one, I know Blake, so if he has a little vain side to him, so he's not confessing his love to anybody like that unless she's giving the same energy back. So therefore, you left out that part. You say he's all on you and smothering you, but you didn't say nothing about the energy that you're giving him. And he ain't one-sided like that. That ain't how you roll. So you obviously was on the phone telling him some stuff too. like, you know, I want to be with you, whatever it is. You was telling him something to get up to that point. And I did say that he likes a slender girl. I remember I said that last episode. And I could see her being his type, but it wasn't one-sided. And then you're going to come over there and make it seem that way. And ladies are ready to love do this all the time. The men be shocked. We be like, man, we were just on the phone talking about all kinds of stuff. But then when it's your turn for elimination, you want to come on when the TV cameras are rolling, you want to act brand new. But then if it's my turn to eliminate, then it switches around. It's a big game, and I wish you would stop with this. But yeah, ladies got to stop it with it. They be on some BS on this show.
Thank you for PG-13ing that response. Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to hop in, Alex?
Yeah, I went already. You can go ask Keena. Keena, you can go ahead.
Oh, Keena. Okay, yeah, Keena.
I mean, for me, Blake, I just don't know why he is on the show. Honestly, he doesn't seem like he wants to make connections with anyone. He's very combative when he has conversations with people. And I don't see him having a connection with anyone. I mean, he might be a nice guy, but, you know, I think he's on the show to push people's buttons.
Before Jeremy go, I do agree with that, Keena. I said it earlier. I don't think he's filling any of the options that are available to him. But I also want to say, too, I won't totally discredit Jeffrey for what she says either, because I don't trust Blake personally. But I wouldn't discredit her fully if I was Sue Ann. I would hear her, but then I would also go talk to him in a more sneakier way than just straight out. She said this. No.
I mean, I don't trust anybody with a shaved high top fade.
Huh?
I don't trust anybody with a shaved high top fade.
He almost 50. What you want him to have?
I don't care.
Nah,
I don't trust you.
Alex is 50.
We always
He
had
doesn't
that
have a high
hairstyle.
top fade.
Well, that's because
Nobody
Alex
would
ain't got no
I
hair.
mean, if you have a high top fade, it should be tapered. It should be tapered. You're a black man. Taper it down.
Okay. Well, besides,
Ooh, break
attacking
it down for Keena. Break it down.
okay, well, besides attacking Blake because of a hairstyle choice, like a lot of these ready to love women's hairs are not looking ratty crazy almost every season.
Crazy.
But y'all never want to talk. Whenever we talk about those dry weaves that we have to see every season, y'all have an issue with it. Y'all want to blame it on the hot sun that they have y'all in. But anyway, let's leave Blake hair up out of this.
Yeah, because you like him. You think he's cute, don't you? You think he's
no,
fine.
that definitely is not it, because it's a lot of attractive, ready to love men that's been through here. I think that Walter was a handsome guy, and I used to destroy him on my reviews.
Oh, okay, but back to Blake though. Back to Blake in this situation.
But like I was saying, I don't see what Blake has done that has been that messed up. Maybe he was a little bit too blunt with Corvea, but it ain't like Corvea ain't out here, asking people for their credit card information anyway. So my question is, what's wrong with him being straightforward and to the point? I feel like I don't know. Maybe it's because I may be a little bit similar in the way that I talk and I date people, but to me it seems like he has the most intention out of everybody.
He does, and you get in this show, you get blamed by how you play the game, not
How
by
does
who
this man
you
have
are.
intention? What is giving him?
Because he's the only one asking straightforward questions. He's the only one really trying to get to the nitty and the gritty of knowing who these women are. So the only reason that he's bumped heads is because he's been with airheads. Like he had to talk to Corvette.
Now, Jeremy,
I mean, he's telling the truth.
Jeremy, I'm not going to say that he has done anything bad, because I can't say it, but he's done some questionable things, especially like you have a strong stance that you don't want no more kids, but then when you get around women more of your liking, you want to be like, well, 13%, I'll probably pop a baby up in you. I don't know yet. Then you want to give somebody that you really don't have interest in a nickname, talking about we're going to only use it in emergencies, basically saying do not say this nickname at any other time.
Like, who the hell is
anybody else?
Okay, so let's talk about the baby thing. So in my opinion, the man is 44. So in my opinion, he's saying if I wasn't with nobody right now, I'm not thinking about having more kids. But, if I like somebody enough, and they really make me feel that way, I would, end up having a child with them.
He can articulate
that's the way I interpret it.
Because he could talk. He can talk, Jeremy. He could have said that easy. If I find somebody I really like, then yeah, I might consider it. But he didn't say that. He said no to the person he for sure didn't like to make sure he turned her off, because that was his truth. And then got around people that he kind of liked a little bit more and was like, well, I scale it back to 13% because I like you 13% more than the last chick. That's really what that was. That's that BS. Like I would sex you up and down, but I really don't want to,
I mean, can I ask you a question? Like, are there not men that you would have a child for, and then some men that you would have a child for that you've dated before? Like, it's some that you wouldn't and some that you would, right?
Only Andre 3000.
Y'all see, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all like to play games. Y'all know when y'all are purposefully trying to misinterpret Blake.
Jeremy, the man doesn't want children. That's all she's saying. That's all I hear her saying. He doesn't want children, so why come on the show and lie about it?
He's not
lying.
He said that at this age, and y'all missed it, and it was the most mature thing that's been said on this season. He said that I should be saving for retirement in order to take that money and invest in another kid. I'm 44 years old.
No,
everybody is so financially. No, he doesn't want to pay money for a kid. He's probably
that means no. Just stick with that honesty. I will respect.
But I'm saying,
if you got the money to afford our retirement, then yeah, maybe we can put some money in a baby.
Can I also say this? Y'all are acting like sometimes when you love somebody enough, or when you feel such strong feelings for somebody and they really want something, you're not you're willing to compromise on it.
No. No, if you don't want, I know women that sit there and told men that they don't want to, they would have a baby for him only to go through the ups and downs and loops and stuff and literally do IVF knowing that she don't want the baby, just and stress herself out so she can't have the baby. That people would do some crazy things to act like they want you and still will not give you what you want when they got you.
But what is this financial? Like you said,
there are men. Just let me say this, Ryan. I'll let you go. There are men that have lied about having vasectomies and get married to a woman that wants to have kids. So what do you think about that, Jeremy? There's all kinds of games that people play on both sides of it, and that's what I think we as women are talking about. That Blake seems to be playing a game. Maybe
I don't yet think if anybody playing games around here is Tony and Linda.
Yes,
it's definitely not giving. It's definitely to me.
Well,
Blake
Tony,
is not.
We see that too. We see Tony playing a game.
But like in my opinion, I don't like. This is strange because usually I would never agree with Ron in any one of these reviews, and I feel very uncomfortable with this. But
I love you too.
Right.
Go ahead and let it come roll off your tongue.
but like I promise that like I do not see what's wrong with Blake. Like it like I really do try to be as unbiased as possible. And I just don't feel any like I remember when like me and Aubrey were on the phone and she was like, I can't wait for you to see this episode because yada 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 about Blake. And I was like, okay, I can't wait to see what Miss Aubrey said because let me do one thing. One thing Blake won't do is upset Aubrey. Then I watched the episode. I was like, what happened? We're not seeing the same things.
No, we're not. We're clearly not on this. Is this one we normally agree, but this one we are not. And I'm having so much fun with it, guys. If you're in the chat, drop a yes if you or if you are believing that Blake is really in the process for the process, and drop a no. I'm just asking the chat now. Hold on, chat. Help me out here. I got 23, 24 people in here. Come on now. Help us out because we can go backwards and forwards on this all day long.
But let me get to Jeffrey though, because like
back to Jeffrey. Right.
I low-key think that Jeffrey is here playing games and nobody wants to talk about it. Yeah. Jeffrey is not feeling any of these men. She's already invalidated all of them. She's not really interested in DeMario. She don't want Blake. She definitely didn't want Febreze. She don't like. I know, like she hasn't. Like to me, doesn't realize like she's feeling blue. Don't really seem like she. I know she's not gonna be feeling Lyndon, because is the 3 kids gonna sleep in the couch with the roommate? I don't like what's gonna happen. Like it don't make sense.
Too hard on one.
She don't belong on this show.
But they're saying there's a couple that's already been a couple that was on this show.
And then on top of that. Not to mention, she gonna try to destroy this man's reputation in front of all of these women for no reason. What she did was not called for at all. Like, it was not called for. Now, I can see if you're trying to give these women awareness for their safety or anything, but if me and you just have a personal, disagreement, I'm not about to go into the women's lounge and just, like, expose that. And not only that, but you didn't even talk to him about it. Did you tell him you were feeling smothered? Did you tell him he was coming on too strong? Or did you just automatically say that? Maybe he can't read your mind through all of that, that thick lace front. Maybe you might have to.
Take the lady down her lace front not sticking.
Maybe you have to communicate how you want him to communicate with you, because men are not mind readers. And that's something that I have a big issue with people doing. Like, sometimes they think in their mind that they're giving you, intent, but you might feel like it's making you feel claustrophobic. That's when you communicate that, not bash him in front of everybody and make him seem like some type of abusive, controlling, angry individual who has you on a leash. That to me was really disgusting.
It was bad.
Here we go. My Jeremy is back.
Careful with the A word, but she did say controlling. To be fair,
which he's not. He hasn't showed the controlling side yet. I don't know where that came from.
Here we go. Jeremy's back. We back along, Jeremy.
What are you saying, Keena? I'm sorry, Keena, or was that Jay?
That was me. I was just telling Jeremy we back aligned again, because we usually stay aligned with each other and stuff.
Yeah.
I think she's a plant for production.
Oh,
Because
you need somebody that's gonna do whatever production say in order to get this thing rolling on, and she might be that person. And we're gonna know next episode because if I'm Blake and I know I got the power next week, I'm calling up every single guy on the phone and saying we got to get rid of her. Everybody join in, and I'm doing everything I do to get her out the door. And if she don't leave next week after what she did in that lounge, and Blake knows about it, then we know she's a plant because it don't work that way. Like I said, Blake's
and you know
mad.
what?
He's pissed. He should be on the phone to get rid of her, telling all the guys, "No, she got to go." And she doesn't have no other connection that's strong enough to keep her there. So,
yeah, you know what I believe? I believe that Blake is a very good-looking guy. He got those dimples, you know. He got the smile, and I think a lot of women are upset because they feel like here's a good-looking guy that think he can just skate on his looks, and he's been skating on his looks. And I think the women are the women are resentful of that. Don't be resentful. He's a good-looking guy. So what? You're doing don't hate. Don't hate the player.
It's more to a relationship. Your looks and 75 cents. Your looks and 75 cents can't buy a cup of coffee. So what? So what? You look good. So what?
I mean, like it's crazy to me because all of the stuff that y'all are talking about, Blake, I see it in Jeffrey. I don't know.
It's in her too. I definitely see it in her too.
So maybe
Jeffrey looked like one of those Disney princess villains.
Listen, no, you cannot trust a woman that sit here and tell you she was raised on a farm and she grew up, and then come to find out that it was her uncle's farm and she ain't did it since her parents divorced and all this stuff, and she can't control the horse. Horses pick it up on the interviews and stuff. So
just throw jiggles in there too. So okay, guys, we're gonna move on to conclusion. The elimination days. Your final thoughts. Go ahead, Jason. Since you were talking, go ahead. What were your thoughts about these final dates and how they were handled?
Bye, Fabrice. Jeremy, you would have won the bet if you took it last week. I would have paid you whatever you wanted, baby. I had you.
But like I didn't, I ain't even trying to take your money, but I already knew Fabrice was going home next. I said
we knew Fabrice was going.
Fabrice had to go. He did a good bet, you know.
I was it was no doubt in my. I was like, he definitely going home.
He got a tough break though. He's an
older guy too, though. Let's be fair. I mean, nobody really believes 44. I'm sorry.
No,
I was disappointed in the women of the cast, and I've been because every time you bring in a different guy that doesn't normally date this niche of modern black woman, it's like nobody does anything to kind of like open up and accept those guys in. And that was the same with Devin last season and been a couple others and stuff. The guys,
a couple of women tried for Devin, but
they tried a little, but not really. They didn't really open up to him.
But this one, but this one right here, this was definitely Fabrice doing on his own. Like, you know, you just wouldn't get off the sex thing, but then you was
what he was trying to say was that internationally they're more sexual.
Yes,
I'm used to.
Say that, but you could say other things on top of it. You said it in a group setting that we on one-on-one, you still saying it, and then when we get somewhere else, you're talking about somebody's décolletage and all this stuff. Like, you continue on the same path with the same thing, and then you're rude on top of it. And then, like, we're not going to even play games. If he had been attractive, he might have got a little bit more pass with it, but you know, that hard 44 like Robin is a whole different
so but we do have a problem in our community with the sex thing.
Women in their 30s and expect them to be all in love with you when you're 64. You can't expect that, Ron. I'm sorry.
No, I get the age and the looks. If y'all want to say that, say that. But the play that this guy's sexuality has something to do with it is wrong.
I mean, when you I'm just saying, like in my opinion, Ron,
it's his conduct regarding sex.
Ron, in my opinion, I feel like what they're saying is that he too ugly to do that, and it makes them.
And that's what they're saying, but they don't
because you know when Clifton and Tori did it, it was all right.
Yeah. No, it wasn't all right with Tori talking about pushing somebody's kidneys out back. You doing too much, sir. Okay, no.
A lot of women want that.
You are purposely.
But listen.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Listen, you know, here's a guy that's Haitian and Asian who spent a great majority of his time in France.
Yeah,
okay. He's adjusted to that.
I don't know where he got Asian from, but it's okay.
That's what he said.
No,
that's what he said.
He said Haitian. Haitian.
He said
Haitian,
he's
not
mixed with
Asian.
something.
No, Haitian, straight
Yeah,
Haitian.
he's mixed with something.
He ain't mixed with nothing. He is straight
Okay,
Haitian. He
all right.
looks
In any
straight
event,
Haitian.
In any event, yes.
in any event, he spent a great majority of his time in France, and he adapted to that culture. And we know how France people are. The French is romantic. They're very sexually open and all that kind of stuff. That's what he got accustomed to.
We don't even know if that's true.
Why do y'all keep assuming French people like that? Why do y'all keep assuming French people is like that? French people is not like that. I've met a lot of French people. They are not.
What we do know is that people around the world are more sexually open than modern black women that gets on this show. Let's just keep it real.
Why do people adding this syllable into that word?
I think that.
I mean, that's a niche. We have a niche group of women that's on every season of this show.
We're talking also about Americans. These black women happen to be Americans. Let's face that.
I don't. But I can't agree with the modern part that Ron said. Because these heifers, I can't agree with the modern part that Ron said, because these heifers is running around in poly relationships right now. So I don't know. I don't know about the modern. Maybe the more.
They're not going in no poly relationships.
Yeah.
Well, those ready to love women ain't in those poly.
Yeah, they ain't no poly relationships.
I know. That's why I said I don't know about the modern part. You might say.
Modern, I mean, like the women that would get picked for this show. They pick a certain archetype of woman, right?
Got you.
Now, if you go down there to MTV.
Oh, I think we've got a solution. Ellen V wanted to point out to Alex, maybe what you were looking at, if you were looking at your closed caption, that while he said Haitian is what he was saying, that closed caption, which sometimes goes phonetically, put down Asian. But he's not Asian. He's not Asian.
He's trying to be mixed inside of an Asian. That's what he is trying to do.
Okay, well, okay, my Cash App is at the bottom of the screen.
But
I
know that he's like the frustrated.
But can I say that?
It was time for him to go home. Go ahead, Jeremy.
What I really enjoyed the most about the sit down that Blake and I forgot her name, Sue-Ann, or was it Morgan? Sue-Ann, like that Sue-Ann and her, like him had was that he was fully accountable with the fact that I've struggled with being kind of controlling in the past, and that's something that I did not want to do, and I tried to make sure that was not something I did. He didn't try to lie and say like I don't know what she talking about or anything else like that. He really said, but in my opinion, I don't really feel like I did that with her. Like, I really feel like I just showed her intention. We had, conversations, but none of it was, me just saying, I choose you out of anybody else, because in my opinion, it doesn't even match for him to choose her because of where he wants to be in life. It's ideal for him not to be, with a woman who has 3, toddler children. And he said that he wants to be jet setting all over the place and not having to raise a child, like preferably. And I just don't see him just saying, okay, Jeffrey, because you're so beautiful and the best looking one up in here, which she's not, I'm just gonna automatically choose you out of everybody else off of 1 week of conversation or less than 1 week of conversation. I just don't see it. And the way that he made it sound, to me, he sounded more believable than Jeffrey.
Now, I ain't gonna say there's only one part of your thing I disagree with. It's the children part, because he got a 9 or 10-year-old, so I don't know about that.
He's gonna be raising a child for quite a while. I mean,
he's still on the raising. But I do agree with the rest that he do want to be off in the world with somebody that don't have kids right now, and so he don't have to worry about his, and they can just go be Future and whoever Future with at this particular time. So there you go.
Okay, I'm not sure, Ron. I think he may have stepped away. We're gonna wrap it.
I'm still here.
Oh, Ron, you still there? Oh, because I couldn't see you. Well, Ron, tell our viewers where they can find you at as we wrap this thing up. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. But Ron, tell the viewers where they can find you at on Instagram and what have you not.
Yeah, you can hit me on Instagram and Facebook. It's the same thing. I am Ron Freeman, and DM me, say hi, whatever. I'm here for everybody. So.
He's very responsive. Only thing he doesn't know how to do is Cash App, but he's very responsive.
You gotta get something other than Cash App. People, I don't have Cash App. Get Zelle.
Okay, so tell me, I'm getting ready to Zelle in there. Okay, just Keena, tell me, Keena, what do I need to add? The Venmo or the PayPal or both? What do I need to add?
Zelle, maybe Venmo. I mean, Cash App. I don't even have an active Cash App.
Okay, but what else? You said PayPal, no, or Venmo?
A lot of people got Zelly.
They got what? Zelle?
Zelle,
yeah,
add Zelle.
Okay, I'm gonna add Zelle then. Okay, I want all of you guys to be able to contribute. I don't want to keep. I'm inclusive over here. I am inclusive, whether you're black, brown, yellow, white. I don't care. I love all people with money. Okay, we'll keep this channel going. We're gonna get back on track, and we're gonna go to Jay. Jay, come on, tell them where they can find you and what's going on your channel here on YouTube.
All right, y'all make sure y'all send Correa Jr. over here some Cash App, some Zelle, and PayPal. She over here. Okay. But y'all can find me on another round, JS on YouTube, or you can find me on Instagram at another round _JS. Tomorrow I should be up on there pretty kind of early because I need to get over to my little nephew. But we probably be talking about Love and Marriage DC tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow! So you're doing it in the early part of the day? I mean, like in California time, so Pacific Standard Time. So maybe.
So I probably be about 1 o'clock my time, which is about you're on the East Coast, so you're 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay, guys. So she's gonna be live on her channel. Awesome. You doing a panel? You doing it alone? How you doing it, girl?
I haven't invited nobody, but you guys are welcome if you want to. If y'all want to get into it.
What is it tomorrow?
Love and Marriage DC.
I can jump on there. We're covering that. I can, if you want me to be a guest, I can jump on.
Can I ask a question?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk about Love and Marriage like DC, are you gonna talk about how DJ Quicksilver's feet was dangling off of that bed when him and Ashley were talking
Jeremy, when you doing your review, Jeremy?
Your turn. You just hold right there, okay? Just hold right there.
Jeremy, when you doing your review? I gotta make sure I'm tuned into that.
You have to make me watch it back, Jeremy.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Can we just get through this, please?
Okay.
Tell our viewers. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
No, I'm just telling Jeremy I'm gonna send him the link. That's all. Go ahead.
Yes, Jeremy, when you doing your review? And send me the link too, boo. When you doing your review, Jeremy?
I'll be telling that when it's my turn.
Yes, can I moderate my own show, Miss Keena over there? Okay, now Keena, tell them about where you're at. Okay, please.
Okay, you can find me, as you already know, she is.
And don't cash app her. Don't cash app her because she ain't got cash app.
I ain't got cash app. I got Zelle. But you can find me I got my new Instagram page and YouTube page is O_the.audacity. And you can find me there on YouTube. So subscribe. I'm having my first live show Thursday. And we're going to have Natasha on there. We're going to be talking about the alpha woman and all the stuff that happened in her elimination. And also you can find me as She Is Cookie as well.
All right, over on Instagram. Very good, very good. Okay, moving along. Thank you, Keena, for that, and thank you for being here. All right, Papa Smurf. I mean, Magnetic Repellent. I'm sorry. And thank you, Roro. Thank you.
Yeah, I already subscribed to Keena, all the Audacity on IG and YouTube, so I'm looking forward to that. You guys can find me on Instagram, AWLeaf67, and Magnetic Repellent on YouTube. I'm going to start dropping some more videos on Magnetic Repellent, but go there and subscribe if you haven't done that already. So let's go.
All right, Jeremy, keep it to your stuff now. Keep it to your stuff, and no jokes about the Love and Marriage DC cast, please. Okay.
Okay. Well, Jeremy is going to be reviewing Love and Marriage DC, partnered up with JB Says What, and we're gonna be doing those reviews together. And I want to say that it's going to be dropping on Tuesday because I'm doing Real Housewives of Potomac tomorrow. But be on the lookout on my channel. I drop content on a daily, and it all stick like grits. We thriving and we thriving and surviving over there.
Real quick, Jeremy, you doing it live on Tuesday? You and JB is doing it live on Tuesday?
Yep, I am forcing him to do it live.
Oh, that should be interesting because we've had him over here on this channel. He's very astute, very good YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
I love friend. That's when I like. I love my little circle of friends that I'm developing. JB says I keep him real close to my heart. He one of my bros.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I like him. He's over in Texas too. I want to thank everybody for being here. My panelists, my esteemed panelists are wonderful. I reach out to them. They're always on time. They're good. They never say bad words, and they always cash at me. But pretty soon they're gonna Zelle me and Venmo me and PayPal me too. So you guys feel free. And Roro, we want to thank a special shout out to Roro for this super chat. And then earlier, thank you so much, well appreciated. I'm trying to catch back up here. We had a new member join today. Where is she? Hold on. Oh, it's so hard when there's so many comments in here. But I want to welcome you. I saw. Oh, here you are. Here you are. Oh, yes. Okay. Miss Q in the building is a new member. Yay! Let's cheer for her, everybody. Welcome her. Roro, welcome her. Ellen, Monique, welcome her in. And I'm looking forward to you being a member. I want to thank everybody for being here. And on that note, guys, everybody say bye.
Gracias. I mean, bye. Oh, that's not.
Not gracias.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Peace out.